So today's the day.
Today's it. Today's the day we're pissing everybody off. But first, a word from our sponsor, Zevia.
We're going to get the fattest cease and desist one day.
So these are actually pretty good. These might be the best tasting. These might be the best tasting energy drinks I have found. They're from Zevia. They basically Zevia. They don't have any BS on them. This has got basically carbonated water, natural flavors, citric acid, stevia leaf extract, and a whole buttload of caffeine.
From natural sources, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Only the natural
I'm sure
sources.
it's green tea extract caffeine. I don't actually know.
Yeah, I got no clue. I was there. I was about to be like, oh, is it really?
I don't actually know. So today we're gonna talk rules.
Yeah, we've been talking about rules this whole time.
But today we actually have the rules pulled up right here.
Yeah, neither one of us actually know it.
So let me actually get this started. We're gonna start the screen recorder. Start now. All right. Boom. We have the rules. 2, 1, and let's start. So today we're talking about specifically Buhurt International melee rules. Just the melee rules. Don't worry, IMCF, we're coming for you too. We're going to piss you off.
We're going to get to you. We're going to get to you. Don't worry.
We're starting about the Buhurt rules right now. Okay. Now, we're not going to go over these in depth rule by rule. We're going to go over them kind of as we feel like it. That's what it is.
Straight up.
Kind of as we feel like it.
But we did specifically have one rule in mind, and that is...
We have a rule that brought this podcast up. Which we'll, when we get to there, we'll get there.
We'll get
there.
We'll get there.
We're going to play a video on that one, and then we're going to explain to you why we're right, and the rest of y'all are wrong.
Sean was also right, yeah.
Sean was right.
Warlord Flanker did it right.
Warlord Flanker did it right, our guest on the last podcast. Also, oh my Lord, his name just flew out the...
Is he white?
Iron Lions. Runs the Ironhide Academy.
Oh, runs the Ironhide Kearney.
Josh Kearney also got this right. So, little precursor.
Shout out to my twin brother, Josh Kearney.
All right. So, these are for Buhurt International. The date on these rules, or the version is 2024-12-13. Now, is this the newest rules? Did you pull these off the website?
Yes.
So these are the newest rules according to the BI website. Okay. So if they're not right, blame BI because these came off their website.
Directly.
From
the source.
Yeah. All right. So. All right. So we got like the table of contents, all that good stuff. We'll get to that. Basically, we're going to go over like the general rules, then the marshaling committee, authorized equipment, and authorized fighting techniques. Prohibited fighting techniques, other prohibited actions, prohibited striking zones.
It's a big one for all you ex.
And then we're going to go over cards and how they work. What they call management of the fights. All right. And we're probably going to skip the change log because nobody ever reads change log.
I don't even almost care.
Yeah. So, general provisions, criteria for participating. All right. Basically, it says competitors must be of legal age, all that good stuff, and they got to be mentally fit and physically fit to fight. That's basically all this is saying. All right.
Wait.
I know most of us ain't mentally.
We're already breaking rules.
Hey, look. It's not a requirement to have the TISM to fight.
It just helps.
It just helps.
Just helps a whole lot.
Right. So, pull this inside. You want to keep this?
Oh.
Make it easier on my ass to edit later.
Yeah, that's for real.
So, as you guys know, we score points by dropping other opponents, right? And so that's how you win. We call it a team with a last man standing. That's usually what ends the round, but it's actually the team with the most points scored, right? Which you get by dropping people. So if you go to the time like to 5 minutes in BI, hopefully it's still 5 minutes. We ain't got there yet.
It's 5 minutes per round and 10 minutes per match.
That may have changed. We'll get to that rule in a minute. But it's the person who has dropped the most bodies or scored the most points. Right. The grounded position of all opposing team fighters is the main victory criteria in group battles. Right. Competitors grounded when in the following cases: touches the ground, torso, hip, arm, head, or knee. The flag, the shield, except their 2 feet. Okay. touches the ground with torso, hip, arm, head, knee. Fly the shield except with their 2 feet. Except with their 2 feet.
Interesting. There is something
Except with their 2 feet.
that might be a translation thing, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I think that's what they're saying is you can't touch anything to the ground except your feet.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Touches the ground of fighter to support with downward pressure.
So some more interpretation.
This is where it gets kind of the gray area and where we all cheat this, like every one of us. You do, and you know you do, and you know you do as well.
You definitely do.
All right? And it's me. I'm bitches. Right here. Me.
Man. Hang on. Sorry, we gotta put this up.
What we doing? What?
Oh, we don't have a tech.
No.
Dang it. Sorry. I really wanted
Charles over here trying to show off our new
stuff. Be on the lookout for that in the future. It was looking at me. It was looking right at me.
All right, so basically, I mean, like when you throw a fighter, a lot of times they're holding on to you, and you're using them to kind of stay up as you're like, hey, dude, you're down, let go. So we all skirt this rule,
very true,
right? And it's very open to interpretation.
Yeah,
because the rest may sit you, they may not. And as a fighter, you are best off just pretending that it never happened, and you stand up anyway.
Very true, very true.
Like if you throw someone and your hands are on their body, were you supporting your weight with their hands, or were you not? It's open to interpretation.
But I think if it's a throw, it's fine.
For support with downward pressure.
So if I use upward pressure to stay up?
Ain't nobody got a scale showing how much pressure you put down on
very
it,
true,
right?
Very true.
So this is open very much to ref interpretation, and you should let the ref interpret. If he thinks you down, he's going to sit you. So it's a gray area. Bend that rule. All right. The list has no bottom rail touching the ground. That's a safety thing. So because we used to have fighters getting their legs broke on a bottom rail in the list, so they made all lists remove that bottom rail unless that rail was flat to the ground.
Really, really good rule change. Because man, like I think one of the worst injuries I've seen leg wise was somebody falling and getting their tibia.
His first tournament, and he got a second knee.
Yeah. Yeah. And did he stop fighting after that?
He didn't fight anymore. He was done. He was one of the Florida guys. So
oh yeah, at that
Florida had a rash of new fighters getting injured in their first tournaments and leaving. It's like 4 of them that happened to.
Yeah, dude.
So, armor failure. And this list bottom rail thing, it matters because now there's not a bottom rail. There's nothing keeping your feet in the list. So if your feet cross the inner plane of the list, okay. So our lists have a shelf, kind of like up, over. Okay. If you cross this plane with your feet, both feet, you are out.
Okay.
Okay. Head, any other body, doesn't matter. It's feet.
Right? It's got to be both feet.
It's got to be both feet. Okay, you've left the boundary of the list. You're done. That also means no people's elbow from the top rope.
That's not what that means.
That's exactly what that means because you can't get both. I mean, you'd have to do it with like your heels still in. Like you could, I guess, if you hung your toes over the edge when you jumped up there, maybe.
Exactly.
Right.
or if the list has that like middle rail. So
I guess you could do it. You could do it from the middle rope, but not the top rope.
Step the middle rail and.
So armor failure. If you got a piece of armor comes off, they're going to sit you.
Period.
All right. So that counts as a drop.
And it has to be essential armor, but that doesn't mean they won't drop you for
any armor that you started the list with is considered essential at this point.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right.
As far as I understand it, I think. So if an element of the equipment cannot perform, it says here, just as if an element of equipment cannot perform its function or protective function is lost. So just any element of your armor. All right.
Fighters shall be grounded by marshals.
Yep. This
includes helmet, neck protection, torso protection, shoulder, elbow, forearm defense.
Yeah,
all of it.
Yep.
Cool. Armor.
So, also, if you do not have a weapon in your hand and you're performing an offensive action, okay, striking, punching, pushing, grappling, directed at an opponent, holding a shield is not considered a weapon. Shield are defensive, not weapons. All right. So basically, once you've lost control of your weapon, you can take no offensive action. You can only retreat to your side of the list to get a new weapon.
Yeah, you can
which is why when someone does that, it can be advisable to hang on to that person and not let them go anywhere. Because you just gained an extra teammate, the ref.
Exactly.
And he's got a magic stick that can make them take a knee.
Yeah.
Most powerful weapon in the game.
Right. It's everybody.
Now, I'll tell you right now, as the Warlords, we tend to just let those guys that drop their weapons run because we feel that we can get a takedown on his 2 or
before he gets back.
his teammate before he gets back. That's
Very
that's
true.
our general operator. So there's two schools of thought on this. Both are valid. Figure it out with your team which one you want to do.
Very true.
All right. So take a reserve. You also taking a reserve weapon from beyond the allocated weapon. Whoa. What? Oh, okay. Another way a fighter can be called down is in BI, which they cover this before you get to it. The center third of the list on the backs on each back rail is a designated weapon hand in area.
And not hand in, they have to set it on the list.
It has to be set on the list, and you can pick it up from there. You cannot be handed a weapon.
Exactly.
You cannot get it from the corners. It has to be the center third.
We actually saw an example of that happen in, was it 2-3 years ago at Carnage, whenever one of the Scholar Room fighters got handed an axe.
Yeah.
And he got set.
Yep.
When he was about to actually turn it round and round, and he got set.
Actually, so another way to skirt the rules, Charles screwed up at Carnage.
When?
So I don't remember the exact particulars, but you were going to hand in or had a weapon that was not legal. Brett realized this, ripped it out of your hand and put in a legal weapon, knowing that Brett would get carded, but kept us from getting a red card.
Yeah, I had no clue that happened.
Yeah. So Brett actually got a red card or got a yellow card for handing in a weapon
Instead of putting it on the list.
instead of putting it on a list because you were reaching for a weapon that should not have been in the list.
Okay.
And we knew it had been bounced. We'd set it to the side, but somebody had picked
Set
it
it up there.
Yeah. So I think that was the case. I could be. I'm fuzzy on details. Brett,
That
when
was
you
years
watch
ago.
this, if you can put it in the comments below exactly what happened. I do remember it was he got carded for handing you a weapon in.
Okay.
Or no, maybe the weapon you had
Charlie,
was.
go to the gym.
I don't remember something with one of your weapons.
Okay.
Right. So you can again, breaking the rule in one fashion gives a yellow card, and another fashion is a red card. Right.
You got it.
So
it's easy math.
Yep. And so Brett made that calculated decision real quick. All right. While not carrying a weapon, you're not allowed to engage in offensive actions like striking, pushing. We already went over that one. Took a reserve weapon. We just went over that one. If the list is a wide top bar, the fighter has their full body and legs on top of the list. So there it is.
Oh, so you cannot wait. So you can frog splash from the second rope, but
From
not
the second
top
row,
one.
but not the top.
It's gonna happen.
All right. So grounded by martial as a result of a rules violation. See Article 8. Yield by kneeling, voluntary withdrawing from the fight. Okay. Notice that this is yielded by kneeling or voluntarily withdrawing from the fight. Okay. You'll see a lot of fighters want to do this palm up, palm open thing.
Don't do that.
That was old school rules. It's very dangerous. Do not do that. This is not armored and you can catch an axe.
Yeah, don't show this to your opponent.
So that this is not I yield anymore. It used to be, but it's not. All right. So take a knee or voluntary withdrawing from the fight. I'm down if you can't take a knee. But if you're hollering you're down, go
down for sure.
Don't make me question if you're going down because I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah.
If you say you're down and then you decide not to go down, I'm going to hold you till Charles breaks you. Because I got to be sure you're going down.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So the competitor is not grounded in the following cases. They touch the ground during or immediately after a successful takedown with one of the following: edge of their shield, hand open or hand closed, making a fist. They touch their immediate opponent fighter while they are grappling together with any point of contact except for their torso, hips, or buttocks immediately after a successful throw. So you basically can't be body to body when you throw them. All right. Now, this is the rule that got us doing this today.
Yeah, very true.
So I'm going to play a video real quick. All right.
So,
No, it's from the side. Wait.
oh no, it's right here. I got you. It's right here.
Okay.
Oh, what? Oh, we lost it. That's fine.
What? Let's pull it up. Come on. So anyway, let's pull this up. So there was a discussion about this going on in the Buhurt International group. All right. It was posted from I think a Russian fight. No, that's the international page. Buhurt International. Search and then go groups. Boom.
Oh, okay, there it is.
Buhurt International discussion page. Visit.
Perfect.
All right.
Wait, what?
We're not in the group as. Hold up. We got to go to my personal Facebook page, not the other one, and then we can go to Buhurt International. Why are there giant? What is this? Who is Tremanda? Soy Gabriel. What is this? Let's see. We click this, and we go to this button, and then we go to unfollow.
Yep.
I don't even know who Soy Gabriel is, dude.
They're unfollowed is what they are.
It looks like a bot account.
It does.
Now that looks like my normal Facebook feed.
There it is. There we go. Machining.
The rest of the stuff, it's all Buhurt machining.
Buhurt's back on the menu, boys. And now we
All right, now we go to Buhurt International discussion page.
There it is. All right.
Oh, look, it's right here. Okay.
Perfect. So let's check. Yeah, let's full screen that. So,
boom. All right, y'all see that? Okay.
Can't lie to you.
That's a clean takedown.
I'm gonna add that to my repertoire because
that's just a clean takedown, man.
I never thought it was legal.
Looks like a clean attempt at an Soto.
Yeah.
And he pushes him over as he hits the ground.
Well done.
That's perfectly legal.
Yeah.
Rules is written. We just read the rules. Yeah. He touched the ground with his hand, closed fist, during the process of a takedown.
Yeah.
All right. So this has 62 comments on it. All of y'all in here, technically 3 points of contact. I'd say down. 100% hand on the ground, clearly bearing weight, offering support. Even if it was only for a moment, we're following without it. That's not what the rule says.
Yeah.
Omar. Yes, he's down.
Omar, yep.
Josh Kearney, as per the rules, and Kearney posts the rules right here. The competitor is not grounded in the following cases. 1, 3, 2. They touch the ground during or immediately after a successful takedown on one of the following cases. Edge of the shield, not the flat. Hand open or fist closed. That's exactly what he did. Okay? So we got down here. All y'all out here, per the rules is written.
No,
he's
is
down.
that a marshal?
So per the rules is written. I'd sit him and warn him because he should have known better. No, he's playing by the damn rules.
That's literally how.
You're wrong, man.
Yeah,
all right. Rule says down during immediately after. Someone should shared another comment. I read that immediately after only. We'll need to check again. I think he's down. Well, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Down himself in the process. No, he didn't. 3 points down. No. Read the rules. I would say he's down, but putting him down, I would probably know. No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The
thing that's kind of the thing that's wording, wild is quite a few. I think some of these guys are actually marshals, which
shows you just how much our marshals need training.
Yeah, true.
All right.
And
it's one thing I like about the AMCF marshals tend to get the rules better than most others in the sport.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
They just flat do.
Because I think they get drilled on it, or they have to do some kind of certification.
I couldn't tell you. I feel that the marshalling is better at AMCF events.
Fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could be also that they then use our Midwest marshals.
Yeah, I was about to say they do.
And
also,
our Midwest marshals are top shelf.
Very, very, very good.
So,
yeah, I think our Midwest marshals have a lot of international marshaling experience too.
At this point, they do.
Like they're very well traveled.
David and Steve both are fantastic, and the rest of that group is really good.
Man, where is? Now, I haven't seen Steve.
Here's our boy Warlord Flanker. Rule states that you can make a third point of contact while initiating a throw. If he didn't succeed to throw, I would have set him. All right, but he did take him down. So, right, Sean is right. Yeah. He initiated the throw. He's the person trying to make a throw. That's what Sean means by initiated. He initiated the throw. He's not being taken down. He's the one trying to take someone down. All right, Kenny, right on the bar. Second this, me. Sean is literally the only one here that has apparently read the rule book.
Yeah. And the thing that's great about that is because when you typed that, you hadn't read the rule book either.
Exactly. I know I had read the rule book. That's why I said Sean's the only one.
If he's not down, this changes everything.
Now, Larry Chives said, no, he didn't read the rule. He's clearly making up words. Larry, come on, man. Come on.
Hang on. Let's see.
It doesn't say initiated. You're right. It doesn't say initiated, but what Sean means by initiated is that he's the one initiating the throw. He's the one making the throw.
Yeah.
All right. 1-3.
1-3?
1-3-2. Yeah. 1-3-1, 1-3-2 is right here.
1-3-2, yeah.
Yep. So
immediately after a successful takedown with one of the following cases. It says they touch the ground during or immediately after.
Yes. Yeah. So
during,
basically what Sean means by initiated, and you know what Sean means by initiated, homie. Come on. Is that the guy's making the throw. He's the active person. He's the thrower, not the throwee. Right? So if we go back, I hate this. How do I?
Oh, you got it.
All right.
Yeah, that's really not great.
So no, so I'm not like look, I'm taking my own advice right now. I'm reading the rule book right now, Larry. I'm reading it, and I'm right. Okay, I'm right.
Somebody help me up here.
You can read? I can read.
I've been reading for at least
I
20
actually
some odd
read
years.
the rule book right here live on air. Rule 1.3.2. The man is up. Unequivocally up.
Yeah.
The rest of y'all, armchair quarterbacks and marshals that need to read the rule book, go read your rule book. Now, I'm going to preface this with I hate this
I
rule.
agree. I don't like the rule either, because whenever you start getting into situations like that, if I see some dude put his arm on the ground like that and he's trying to throw somebody, I'm gonna 12-6 him.
And also, who does that red player lacks chivalry and integrity? We don't do that here, homie.
Relax, buddy.
This ain't the SCA. Take a seat. Take a seat, dude.
Relax,
Take
buddy.
a seat, dude.
That's crazy.
We are competitors.
Yeah.
We're not here to pretend to be. But all y'all actually talking about 3 points of contact, yeah, man, that's not the rule.
It's not the rule. Yeah.
You can make 3 points of contact when you're initiating a throw. When you are the thrower. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about he's not a marshal, but the penny's worth nothing here. But it could be argued that there was an attempt at a throw. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
He's making a throw.
It wasn't
not
argued.
argued.
It was a successful
He
throw.
made the throw.
Yeah. Now,
Right.
does it say the throw has to be successful for this to work?
No, it does not.
It doesn't. Okay.
It just says during a throw. But I guess if you don't actually make the throw, it's not going to be a throw if you didn't succeed.
Oh yeah, because
Right.
if he tried that and the guy stayed up,
Then he's down.
yeah, I don't think anybody would
Yeah.
disagree that he's down.
So
Touch the ground during or immediately after a success. It has to be a successful takedown. So,
during or immediately
Yeah,
after. So
yeah,
he made the throw. The guy
it
went
has
down.
to be a successful takedown.
Yes.
So if he didn't get the takedown, high risk, high reward move.
It
Actually,
is. Yeah. So now, I hate this rule. Charles hates this rule.
Actually, I gotta say, after reading it,
No.
it's saying it has to be a successful takedown.
But the problem is this.
Okay.
It's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rules should not be left in the interpretation of the ref's hands.
Yeah, because then you get some inconsistency in there.
It's definitely consistent. What one ref sees one ref. You get the stuff we're arguing over this in a BI group because it's interpretation.
Yeah.
Well, did he make the first throw? Dude, it was one attempted throw, and you got guys that are saying, "Oh, well, no, it kind of stopped and it started again."
Yeah.
Have you never actually ground out a Soto?
That's interesting.
Right? Or if the guy's worth the flying flip, you're not going to nail every throw like that.
Yeah.
So, and it also like I don't like it because
He also caught that guy very off guard.
He
Like,
did, but it muddies the water, right? Clean, clear cut, no 3 points of contact.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
And that's something else that's crazy.
If you make
too.
3 points of contact, you are down.
That's something else that's crazy too. It puts me in a bad situation too. Is that because if I see somebody trying to do that, I'm going to swing my axe at them. But you also,
What if you call them down? Right?
Huh?
What if they're down? Right?
Yeah, exactly. If they get called down while I'm swinging my axe at that guy, I got a red card. Or if I hit that guy in his helmet while he's bent over like that, which is also against the rules.
I mean, again, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, fair.
We'll get to that rule later.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, make clear cut, clean rules.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have the refs interpreting things on the field. It's muddy.
Yeah.
Right? The rule should be no 3 points of contact. I understand the rule was made because people are like, what if I got a long nose shield? Well, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's your trade off for fighting with a punch shield.
Yeah. Very
You want
true.
a long nose punch shield? Man, you know what?
Actually,
That's your problem.
I like the rule that you can use because I think there's one where you can basically use the opponent's body basically in the same way.
Again, the problem with that is it's open to interpretation, which means you should be, as a fighter, interpreting that to your advantage until the ref tells you otherwise.
Yeah, they touch their immediate opponent with any point of contact except for the torso, hip, or buttocks after a successful throw.
Yep. If the remaining protective elements can compensate an armor failure. If the remaining protective elements can compensate for an armor failure. So I guess you're not down if you have an armor failure, but like it's your rear brace.
Instead of,
But you have enough lames on your shoulder to cover your rear brace?
I think so because there was a.
That's what that sounds like?
There was.
I could be wrong. When you guys let me know on the bottom. That's 1.3.2, like .4, I guess. It's the fourth bullet point.
There was a situation where my Paltron had like 2 or 3 lanes at the bottom that weren't connected completely, but that was still it was still fine because I still had armor covering
If the armor failure occurs to the buttocks protection, cuisses that are supplemental or a skirt or back of the elements of grief. Oh, so if it's not considered, if it's considered supplemental armor, it doesn't count. Okay, so you were right earlier.
Okay.
Any part of the pole arm, a sword blade, or mace is not considered as contact in the ground. So weapons do not count for ground contact.
That's a big difference between.
And that is a very good rule that BI does that IMCF needs to adopt.
I agree because ain't no way me staying up with my axe gets me sad in IMCF. Come on, like I have no advantages.
Okay, Marshals Committee. This is what a committee of a tournament should consist. You got a nice marshal. You got field marshals. All right, I don't care about the sub rules of those guys. Nobody actually does. That's a marshal thing.
Yeah, that's not us. Sorry.
So you need a knights marshal, field marshals, line marshals, and a secretary. That's the secretary is the one running the event, doing all the administrative running.
Oh, and an authenticity
now,
rep.
2.5. I vehemently disagree with because the authenticity committee sucks. You should be abolished.
You mean the aesthetics commission?
The aesthetics committee should be abolished. So 2.5 is the worst rule in the book.
All right. Clock it. Whoa. I need a gavel.
So the number of marshals is determined separately for each tournament depending on its form. All right. So there's no minimum number of marshals. You'll be told how many you need at each event. Authorized equipment. Now here's where we're going to have some fun.
All right.
All right.
This
is starts with 3.1. General requirements. Technical and authentic compliance. All equipment must meet Buhurt International technical and aesthetic requirements because it's not authentic. To be clear, it's not authenticity. It's aesthetics.
Not, yeah.
1,000% aesthetics, and this is why I hate the authenticity committee.
Yeah, that's wild too because there are some like Chinese armors that would technically be legal that never actually were real armor.
I mean,
because it can be from an effigy or a painting.
Well, sort of. Also, they ban stuff that they know was actually a thing, like painted armor. We know painted armor exists, and we also know the reason none of it exists, or very little of it exists today, is because Victorians sanded it all off. It's not a question that armor was painted.
Yeah, very much so.
Right, but the aesthetics committee doesn't like painted armor, and we'll get to this when we get there. But you will discover as we go through the next section why we hate the AC. Look, it's been generally.
I just reactivated my Facebook, and I'm about to get so many PMs. They're about to be like, "Yo, somebody who I didn't know was an authenticity marshal gonna be like, man, why do you hate me?
Reference
I'm just doing my job."
Weapons requirements for all rules. Reference weapons shields chart for sizes and weights. We'll get there. 3.1.2 competitor eligibility. Competitors are not allowed unless they have passed technical and authenticity aesthetics checks. Sorry. Weapon rules and requirements. Weapons must meet the technical requirements for permitted weapons. Low quality, dirty, rusty, or historically implausible weapons are not allowed. I'll grant you that. That seems like a fair rule.
Historically implausible.
What they mean is this. Okay. Now, this right here I had made because it matches my homie Austin's sword, which is the two-handed buck-off falchion. You guys can see that right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we can all agree this is cool as shit.
Yeah, that's dope.
This is dope.
It's brass.
But there's not technically a falchion that has the bumpy bumps. Okay? No bumpy bumps on a one-handed falchion.
Yeah, true.
Now, if the blade was this long, it'd be okay. But because it's this long, I can't use this at a BI event, and that's stupid.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Does that count as historically implausible? Because I don't feel like it's implausible. Like,
again, it's not implausible, but the aesthetics committee doesn't like it, so I can't use it. And yes, I will always be salty about it because there's no reason that weapon should not be allowed.
Yeah, there's no reason for it.
None. Okay. So, moving on. That's what they mean by historically plausible, if they like it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Very true.
So, because I have had weapons that were passed at one event, and then not passed at the next event. I had a one-handed axe that was passed by one of the European refs in Prague.
Okay.
Had the Prague sticker on it. Still had the Prague sticker on it. Come to Carnage, and the same ref, the same one.
That's crazy. The same ref.
And the ref was like, I don't like that one.
Oh my goodness.
It doesn't pass. And it wasn't because the shape wasn't right, or that it was illegal, or the length was wrong, or the weight was wrong. No. They didn't like the surface finish of the axe.
That's crazy.
So they wouldn't let me fight with it. And I'm like, you let me fight with this? Like
at the World Cup.
Like you passed it. Yeah. You, yourself, not another ref.
Like literally you
passed it.
Tough.
And then the very next BI event.
Did we freeze here? We did freeze here.
Stop recording. Shit. Okay.
Is it overheating?
The largest medieval combat tournament in the world is coming to Texas. 20 countries and their best fighters, and a battle for blood and glory. Are you ready for the heaviest steel clash of 2025? For the first time ever, witness never before seen formats. 150 versus 150, and capture the flag mass battles. World-class duels that will set your blood boiling. Polearm, longsword, sword and shield, buckler, and even a triathlon. This is the real deal. The best and the best, only with INCF. Can't make it? Watch every clash live from the comfort of your home.
All right, we're back in business. Okay.
Right. Let's get this back.
So, anyway.
Okay, we gotta.
That's that screen recorder ad. Okay.
Don't care.
All right, so. Oh. No, go back. Okay, we gotta turn the recorder back on.
Okay.
The screen went out on us.
Gotcha.
All right, so anyway, now we're back. After that little faux pas with our camera. The very next event, no changes to the axe. I was allowed to fight with it again.
Yeah, that's also like your rules should never be ridiculous to that point.
Yes.
Just like
Now, I will grant the aesthetics committee this. The rule as written was that you could not have a cast finish. Now, I hate the rule, and it's stupid.
Cast finish, what do you mean?
It has to be polished and shiny.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it had a cast finish.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
I get that. I understand it. It's a dumb rule, and I hate the aesthetics committee. It's also not enforced consistently at all.
Very true.
Which makes the rule very hard to follow.
Yeah, because there was I don't remember who it was. Somebody had one of those big ass hog splitters, and I think it was like a black blade or a dark steel or something, and they were like, you can't use that unless it's.
You can't have a blackened blade. Shut up.
It's like, what? What's going on? Yeah. Yeah, they said he would have to somehow figure out how to basically make his blade silver. And dude's like, I can't.
Yeah, it's literally been blackened, dude.
Yeah,
all right. Weapon required. Footwear. Modern boots or medieval shoes with explicitly modern outsoles are not allowed. So, read the rules here. Modern boots or medieval shoes with explicitly modern outsoles are not allowed. Now, what this rule does not say is that you have to wear period shoes. That is not what the rule says.
You're right.
The rule says no modern outsoles. That's all it says. So, I know a lot of fighters take a modern shoe and glue a piece of leather to the bottom. And that, rules as written,
it's fun.
Perfectly legal. Perfectly legal. And if the aesthetics committee doesn't like it, they should rewrite the rule to say that.
Very true.
Right? No modern footwear, period.
Yep, exactly.
But that's not what it says. Okay? Textile adhesive taste of neutral colors for kit repair is an exception.
Interesting.
Now, it never outlaws adhesive tape. It just says that that's an exception. Exception to what? Modern adhesive tape. Okay, sorry, I skipped. Modern adhesive tape, plastic ties, and other visible modern materials are not permitted. So, okay. They basically, and by adhesive tape, they mean black. It's got to be black.
It's got to be black.
Or somebody's going to bounce it for you. All right. So, make sure that it's black.
Or it could, I guess it could be team colors too.
I've heard that it could be team colors, but I don't trust the refs.
That's fair.
To be consistent on that.
Yeah, fair.
Decorations. Slogans, imagery on equipment should be historically plausible and not derogatory. No modern equipment or decorations is allowed.
Shouldn't be not derogatory.
I mean,
who was it? I think it's Colin Campbell that had the shield with the middle finger on it.
I think so.
Yeah.
I know somebody did for a while. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
yeah. Colin had he had the shield that had the candle with fire on both ends.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's really interesting. Like it's like they're outlawing swag in the sport.
I mean, I get you don't want.
Yeah,
you don't want vulgar language. You don't want somebody showing up with a shocker and because it's supposed to be kind of family friendly entertainment. You don't want somebody having to explain their kids what the hell the shocker is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
So I get that.
Yeah. You don't want no like big dumb yellow.
I'm not opposed to that rule. But we all know that modern imagery, dude, just knock it off.
Yeah.
Like half the stuff we do is modern. Like, come on. We're not drawing lions that look like medieval heraldry lions because they're stupid.
No, not at all.
I know you guys are looking at them. I'm going to put one right over here, so you guys can laugh at it too. It's
put it right over the. right over this.
Kearney's favorite meme, the potato horse, right there.
Oh my God, the potato horse.
A lot of your medieval iconography is kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's kind of bad.
So we can aesthetics committee.
But the snails.
Snails, that's right. Snails are perfectly legal, right?
Snails are cool.
Specifics on weapons and shields. All Buhurt International weapons and shields are permitted. Any combination of these weapons is allowed. Okay. So that means, according to that rule, unless there's one that changes it later, that you can run a shield with a two-handed axe. Okay. Now, I have heard of some people saying they can't do that anymore. But again, it's one of those things that may not be consistently enforced.
I see plenty of guys that have like a buckler and a pole. So
yeah. So participants are allowed to change elements of equipment prior to or during intervals due to breakage. Right. Technical martial supervision is required for equipment changes.
What?
I don't understand.
I've never seen
I've never seen this rule enforced.
Yeah, I've never seen that enforced.
Like technical martial for supervision?
To change
tier?
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'd love an explanation for that one.
Yeah, so if one of you marshals can chime in below and tell me what that's supposed to mean, because I ain't never seen y'all oversee shit when it comes to changing weapons or
like
gear.
just do it. Like it seems superfluous.
The head marshal and aesthetics have the authority to demand changes to any element of armor or weapon for safety, aesthetics, or historical accuracy reasons. See right there.
It says aesthetics.
At least
that's
you're owning
crazy.
up to the aesthetics.
That's wild,
right?
huh?
Now, to be clear, I have no problem with aesthetics. Your armor should look the part.
Yeah.
You shouldn't look like a slob. Ringo, I'm looking at you. And your rusty ass armor.
Not the name on it. Not the name on it. That's crazy.
Hey, you New England boys with a rusty armor. I'm looking at all of you, Paul Friedel.
Oh my God! Does he even fight anymore?
He was at a tournament at one of the last Night's All tournaments. So
yeah, but I mean, does he actually fight anymore?
Oh goddamn, Charles! Charles out here just throwing shade. Oh damn! So yeah, I mean, I got no problem with aesthetics being enforced. I have no problem with the aesthetics committee. So. Strikes are permitted with any part of the weapon, shield, and or various body parts, arms, legs, head. A competitor can strike with a free hand, provided they have a weapon in the other hand. A competitor can strike an opponent who has lost their weapon.
Very true.
Competitor can
my
strike
favorite thing to do.
An out-of-balance opponent before they are grounded.
Another one of my favorite things to do.
This is another one of those weapons they're one of those rules that's real open for interpretation, right?
Yeah, true.
Now, I know what I'm saying. Basically, if somebody's falling, you can still hit them. But the minute they have fallen, you can no longer hit them. And there's no way to not get this one be a gray area. It just has to be.
Yeah.
It's part of the sport. It just has to be kind of gray.
One of my times my helmet got busted, I was very much on my way to the ground. I was feet from the ground back, and the last thing I remember seeing is just the axe head appearing. Boom. So it was funny. He hit me, and then I saw myself go like this and fall over. He gave me an out of body experience.
Strike zones are not allowed to any dimension. Are not allowed to any area not mentioned as a prohibited strike zone. Refer to Section 5, Prohibited Fighting Techniques. We'll look at that. We'll look at that next. Weapon grabbing. Grabbing the opponent's weapon except the blade or shield with a free hand is permitted.
So that does mean if somebody has a falchion and I can get past it, I can get past it and grab their handle.
You can grab the pommel. Yep. Okay. And you can just flat-ass grab the shield. That's fine. You can also grab the haft of any axe. All right. Techniques and moves. Back heels, tripping, wrestling throws, and clinching is allowed. All right, so grappling
most
is allowed.
of the sport.
That's 9% of our sport. Any movement in the list, leaning on the barrier of the list, and any holds and grips of the barrier of the list. So you can grab the list in HMB.
Absolutely.
Totally fair. Competitor can disarm any opponent with any authorized action, excluding blade holds. So you cannot grab the blade. Again, no blades. All right. Competitor can disarm any opponent by any authorized action. Oh, we just went over that one. All right, so what's the next one?
A competitor can take away a weapon from the belts of an opponent, provided the fighter holds their weapon. The fighter is then allowed to use the opponent's weapon until the end of the round, then must surrender it back to the opponent.
Now, this is my absolute favorite thing to do.
It's very fun
to steal my opponent's weapon and then hit them with it.
We're going to find a clip. I think we have a clip of you doing that. We've got a few clips of you doing that, and we got a clip of me doing it from the last tournament, too.
I mean, the clip of you stealing my weapon?
No, it was an opponent.
You totally stole my weapon the very first round. Took it right out of my hands.
When?
In Omaha, dude.
Oh.
First round.
Yeah, that happened.
Disarmed by my own teammate.
You got me back, though.
I did.
You got me back.
So, anyway, that is a fantastic thing, and we'll hopefully have a video of that over there. All right.
Grappling the base of the skull, but not the bottom edge of the helmet is permitted.
All right, cool. So don't grab the bottom of the helmet.
Yeah, don't grab the helmet, go around their whole head. Cool.
All right, 4.5, weapon loss. A fighter who has lost their weapon is allowed to protect themselves. No offensive actions. Take a reserve weapon that they've got on them. Take a reserve weapon from an ungrounded teammate in the list. So that means I can run over to Charles's belt and grab a weapon out of his belt. All right. And I can retreat to my weapon distribution zone on my side of the list to get another one. All right. So, grab a polearm leaning against the top rail.
Wait, take a reserve weapon from their teammate. So that means you can hand it in?
No. I can pull it off of your belt if you're in the list. So if we're grappling together,
gotcha.
I drop my weapon. You have a mace. I can pull it.
Yeah, it says teammate located in the allocated weapon distribution zone. So what?
No, also, reserve weapon from an ungrounded teammate in the list.
Gotcha. That was gotcha.
Receive a weapon from their teammate located in the allocated weapon zone. Now, this doesn't say. This says from a teammate. So, according to this, as it's written, I can just take it. A teammate can hand it to me. Now, it may clarify that later, but right now that's what that says. Yeah. I think the teammate has to put it on the list. I don't think they can hand it in. So it may clarify that later in the rules. Grabbing a polearm which leans against the top rail, or its ungrounded teammate owner's body. In this case, it's not considered lying on the surface of the list. Okay. It is not considered lying on the surface of the list. I think that means if the polearm is standing, you can grab it.
If it's leaned against the top rail of the barrier.
All right. You can also yield by kneeling, but you can do that at any point in time.
Oh, that's basically like if somebody's has dropped an axe and it's still up, that means they can grab it instead of having to let it go.
So if you got 461 shelf list or wide top bar, that's a terrible way to refer to that. Shelf list.
Shelf. Sheesh. Wide top bar.
That is definitely a European translation bullshit.
A lot of that's translated. It's got to be.
Reserve weapons must be placed on the top bar in the designated area for a fighter to pick them up themselves. Just what we just talked about. It's prohibited to pass a weapon to the fighter or hold the weapon when the fighter is taking it. This will impose a penalty. See Article 5. Blah 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 blah. All right. So that means if you have a shelf list, you cannot hand weapons in.
Okay.
462, no wide top bar list.
Okay.
Reserve weapons may be passed to the fighter from above the top rail.
That's why that. Okay.
But they still must be in the designated area.
Oh, cool.
Okay. All right. Prohibited fighting techniques. 5.1. Unlisted techniques. Any action not listed in Section 5 of the rules is prohibited. Only authorized techniques are permitted. That's stupid.
That's also
that's unenforceable.
That's also not true.
It's not true. It's patently not true and unenforceable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Unenforceable. Just an unenforceable rule. Strike that rule. All right. Thrusting actions. Can't stab. Got that. Don't stab you. Offensive actions at prohibited strike zones. All right. Section 7 gets to prohibited strike zones. They're a little different in BI than IMCF. But real quick rundown. No feet, no knees, no nuts, no neck.
No base of the skull.
And no stabbing. And the base of the skull, we'll talk about that one because that one's in depth in BI. BI has a very terrible definition of the base of the skull. Actions with foot, shin, and knee. Actions with foot, shin, and knee that are aimed at the knee are prohibited. This includes actions that may cause the knee to hyperextend, such as push kicks to the thigh.
No oblique kicks.
Do not front kick to the thigh. So all you fat fucks that can't actually kick higher than thigh, stop kicking.
Yeah.
You're bad at it.
Yeah, kick the hip. Like, don't.
You got to be able to get up to the torso to throw a front kick. If you can't get to the torso, don't throw the front kick.
Very true.
All right. And Pierre-Luc Fucktard in Canada, I'm still glad you're banned. Video right there. I'm never not sharing that video.
One day I got to get. Tyrell has the video of me getting done.
You get that from Tyrell, so we can post that one too. If we get that one for that, it'll be posted right there. Grappling and holds. Grappling and holds with the hand on a specific armor element, aventail, edge of pauldrons, edge of helmet, that pushes on the bottom edge of the helmet. Subsequent neck twists
are prohibited.
Okay. So are neck twists prohibited? Or just pushing on the edge of the helmet to get a neck twist?
I think it's pushing on the edge of the helmet to get a neck twist because, honestly, like I can see plenty of head rips that end up in neck twists.
I mean, again, that rule's kind of badly worded. Y'all should fix that.
For sure.
That leaves a lot to interpretation.
IMCF's
Armor
feeling
tampering
real good right now.
Deliberate, what's that?
IMCF is feeling real good right now, but they don't know that they're
coming for you too, IMCF.
They don't know they're coming at
We're
them
coming
too.
for you too. We an equal opportunity offender. Except when it comes to the AC. Fuck the aesthetics committee. Fuck. We need a shirt that says fuck the aesthetics committee.
FAC?
FAC. You know what? Actually, you can get that shirt right here. I'm going to make that shirt. FAC.
Yeah, we're gonna make that shirt
right there.
in a
Get
minute.
the FAC.
We're gonna make that shirt in a minute.
FAC, right there, baby.
Armor tampering. Deliberate attempts to remove any element of armor is prohibited. The fighters committing an offense will be set down and given a yellow card. A fighter who deliberately has their armor so it can be easily removed will receive a yellow card for unsportsmanlike conduct.
I mean, how do you enforce this?
That's crazy.
Like, I'm sorry, that's not really enforceable. What's a deliberate attempt to remove someone's armor? I get why it's there. Yeah. We should not be attempting to remove people's armor. Yeah. I get that. Mm-hmm. What's deliberate? A fighter committing the offense will be set down and given a yellow card. A fighter who deliberately has their armor so it can be easily removed will receive a yellow card for unsportsmanlike conduct. Yeah. I mean, I think a cleaner way to handle this is if your armor fails, you get a yellow card.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just going to clean up the sport. Like
you'd have.
I get nobody's going to agree with me in the comments. I get that.
You'd have a lot of yellow cards.
I would have a lot of yellow cards because I lose my gauntlet, so I get pretty regularly handing off head rips. Mm-hmm. But I haven't lost a gauntlet in like 7 tournaments. So I think we got that issue fixed. But I did have my Van Brace pop at Omaha. So, I mean, I don't think a yellow card for it cleans up the sport. Also, we should be throwing more yellow cards. We'll talk about that probably in a different podcast, but we should definitely be throwing more yellow cards.
Definitely should be more.
All right. Suffocation techniques. You can't.
Grips, clamps, suffocation techniques with direct pressure on the neck, under or on top of the aventail, using any part of the body, equipment, or weapon are prohibited. A poorly fitted helmet does not count as a suffocating technique.
So, because of the way that last one's worded, that is every suffocation technique.
Yeah.
Okay? And also, this never gets called. I've never seen it called.
Yeah,
Fighters get choked out all the time.
Yeah. Only time I see it called is if there's like a weapon under the helmet.
It has to be a weapon underneath the helmet.
Yeah.
An aside we'll get to later. That's why you can't grab your own blade in BIs, because they don't want people to get the blade under the helmet and choke someone. Mm-hmm. You already have a rule for that right here that says you can't do it. You don't need a second rule that outlaws perfectly legitimate techniques used in the period in all the manuals and treatises of grabbing your blade. Right? Yeah. That's actually in a lot of the medieval treatises. So you're not talking about authenticity. Mm-hmm. You're talking about a perceived preferred way to fight.
Very true.
Also, you don't need 2 rules to do the same thing. If it's already illegal, you don't need to make it illegal twice. Mm-hmm. Using a weapon to choke someone out is illegal as per the rules as Rule 5.7. Mm-hmm. You don't need another rule that says the same thing. So you should be able to grab your own blade.
True.
Full stop.
True that.
All right. Specific strikes. Strikes or punches to the head with a one-handed axe are prohibited if the grip of the hand is less than 30 centimeters away from the blade. Bro, this is so dumb. This is the stupidest rule. You have no reason for limiting where my hand is on the axe head.
Oh, so that means I can't put my axe head up and punch you with it? Right?
I guess.
Yeah.
So, no. It says it's got to be less than 30 centimeters away from the blade. So you can choke up on the axe head.
It's prohibited if the grip is less than 30 centimeters from the blade.
This is still dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't even know what 30 centimeters is. What is 30 centimeters? I don't speak commie.
I can't even. Yeah.
So, regardless, this is a rule that just cannot be enforced, guys.
Somewhere.
I'm sorry. 30 centimeters is a significant distance.
Yeah, that's wild.
So, it's just it's an unenforceable rule. I don't think I've ever seen it called. I get what you're trying to say is that we can't grip up underneath the beard of an axe and use it as brass knuckles. I understand what you're trying to say.
That's also,
but I can use the D guard on my falchion as brass knuckles.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, man. This is a dumb rule. This rule is obviously written by somebody that doesn't fight.
Pommel strikes with the hammerheads are prohibited. Good.
Pommel strikes with hammerheads are prohibited. Polearm strikes with hammerheads are prohibited.
Mm-mm.
How about you don't try to enforce safety through a rule by using an unsafe weapon and you ban the stupid weapon?
Yeah, the hammerback is...
Hammerbacks should not be allowed in the list at all. Full stop.
Yeah.
So...
you got to have some serious handle, like indexing, and
the problem is
still like
accidents happen.
Yeah,
and if I bring a full force blow down with a hammerback on somebody, dude, that's no bueno.
Yeah, they're hurt bad.
Right? Okay, it's dumb. And what if it's oopsie, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, it's like great.
Now the guy's injured. Okay, nah, screw that. Hammerback should not be allowed in the list at all. Period.
Yeah, I don't like.
Nah. And I know there's must be, you learn how to swing, noob. You need to learn how to swing.
Just get a double bearded X. It's the same thing.
I guess.
Yeah. Like,
but I'm sure those are fun, and the aesthetics community doesn't like fun, so they won't allow those.
The no fun allowed.
The fun police that goes down. All right, any takedown that spikes an opponent on their neck or head, such as a suplex, or violations or variations are prohibited. So you can't drop someone on their head. Perfectly fair rule. I dig that.
Yeah.
Intentional passivity. Intentionally passive and stalling actions such as inactive clinch are prohibited. An inactive clinch is a situation where the fighters are performing weak weapon strikes or no grappling techniques aimed at the ground of their opponent for 10 seconds or longer. Strikes with the fist, knee, or shield are not considered. So if I punch someone, knee them, or punch them with a shield, it's not considered a strike.
Yeah, if it's too weak, I guess.
Okay, so this is another. I get what you're saying. The sport's slow.
Yeah, you want
to grappling on the rails. You're trying to speed it up. This is a very poorly worded rule because we stall all the time on a rail, dude.
Yeah, you have to.
Like it's 1,000% part of the sport. So you are not like that's just not a good rule because we intentionally stall all the time. Right. What you're saying is you don't want someone what used to be like, oh, he's hooked in on the list and he's just getting axed to death. And he's not going anywhere. We got to watch him get beat on for 10 minutes until the round's over with. I understand that's what you're trying. All right, but that's just a very poorly worded way of trying to do what you're trying to do.
I wonder if these rules are worded better in a different language.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are. Because also I've not seen this in another language. On the BI's website, it's in English. So English has got to be the first translation.
True.
Joint locks and hyperextension. Arm locks and leg lock techniques. Any action that may use a limb to hyperextend are prohibited. Yes, I agree. Y'all are also real bad at enforcing this.
Yeah.
Real bad at enforcing this. So
my thing is
there are a lot of leg locks and arm locks that are used as everyday throws.
The figure four.
The figure four is one. We blow out a lot of knees with that, but that's considered perfectly legal. Also, we use a lot of shoulder locks to drop people. We will straight up shoulder lock someone and drop them because it doesn't look like an arm lock.
The arm drag.
Literally everyone does this. An arm drag can lead straight up to an elbow hyperextension. You're right. So I get it. I agree with it. It's also very poorly enforced and also probably unable to actually be enforced well.
Exactly right.
So I don't blame you for having a bad rule, but I acknowledge that the rule is bad, and I don't know of a better way to do it. So, striking grounded competitors, Charles,
Charlie. Hey, the guy.
We're gonna skip this one next.
No.
Injuring competitors, deliberately injured a fighter who has lost a defensive element of equipment. So,
those Brits were not happy.
They were not happy with
And they were like fight over. I was like, cool. And I just see the X, and I'm like, hits the dude right in the visor. He's like, oh, come on, mate. What's going on?
It wasn't that. His knee had just hit the ground. He was down. It was late. It was egregious, but it was in like half a second or a second.
All I know is I had enough time to be like, yeah, the fight's over. And then I'm like, wait, is that oh no, right? Dude's helmet.
I did smoke that dude.
Yeah. And then
However, 2 rounds later, you tried to chop that dude on the ground like cordwood. So
my shoe exploded.
Yeah. The worst part was you like hit the knees and were like, "Oh no, are you okay?" Because you thought you killed him.
Yeah.
I thought you killed him too.
I thought he was dead.
But the ref gave you your weapon and stood you back up. Like when we talk about bad reffing, this is what we're talking about, guys. Like Charles should have received a red card.
Yeah, at
least a yellow.
At least a talking to.
At least a stern talking to. Right. At the same tournament, both of us should have been red carded.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Doc, you all know how mad the Warlord Dominant scene would have been.
Oh shit! Yeah,
my God!
Oh God! Now, true. Also, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Both those instances were incidental, and no one was hurt. Probably should be a yellow.
Yeah.
Right? There should be some like flotations there. So like this grounded enemy. Striking grounded opponent is prohibited.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't tell me what the fucking penalty for it is.
Yeah, true.
Right?
True.
Okay. It should be spelled out. Maybe later in the card section it does, but right now it doesn't specify.
Mm-hmm.
So,
uncontrolled strikes or injuring a competitor, deliberately injuring a fighter who has lost the defensive element of
okay.
So like targeting somebody
Again,
whose armor is
deliberately is the problem.
Yeah.
Right? Deliberately.
Yeah.
Define that. You're trying to get in somebody's head. It's open for interpretation. I don't like that.
Also, defensive element of equipment.
If you don't want to say striking a fighter who has lost defensive element of equipment, that's enough.
Yeah.
Right. Don't try to assign a.
But does that mean a shield?
Moral value to it. I guess I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
All right. An uncontrolled strike and actions with a weapon. I mean, but you're right. It doesn't say what's defensive. Is a shield considered defensive? Is it, I know it's defined defensive as a non-offensive piece in other places. If somebody drops a shield but still has their gauntlet on, can I still hit them?
Yeah. Like what happens there? That's interesting.
Like, 'cause it doesn't say. Now it should say defensive armor, which is what you probably mean. Okay, but it doesn't say that. All right. Uncontrolled strikes. Strikes with actions. Any uncontrolled strikes and actions with a weapon. Man, I get what you're after here.
Don't know what that means either.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like, come on. That's not a good rule, right? Define uncontrolled. Okay. It's prohibited to pick up a weapon that is lying flat on the ground. To receive a weapon from an already to receive a weapon from an already grounded fighter. To receive a weapon from any outside the list except for the squire in the designated area. Pretty self-explanatory.
Cool.
The only place you can pick up a weapon is from your teammate's belt, a polearm leaned up against the edge of the list, or from your designated area. All right. 6, prohibited actions. We're almost done with this. We've got plenty of time. So we're doing good on time.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. These rules contribute to maintaining the integrity, safety, and orderliness of the event. All right. Leaving the list. Intentionally leaving the list after the command start fight and before the announcements of the result of the fight is prohibited. Permission to leave must be granted by the Knights Marshal. So once you step in the list, you are arrested. You've been imprisoned.
Can't leave till your sentence is over.
Exactly.
The sentence is the fight.
I got 3 minutes of playtime.
That's funny.
If you get that, put it below.
The grounded fighters are not allowed to physically interfere in the course of the fight. That's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's actually perfectly allowed. Perfectly fine rule. The grounded fighters are not allowed to physically interfere in the course of the fight. Grounded fighters must remain on the ground until stop fight command. And it's not, so this one needs to be reworded because it's not stop fight. Because you guys yell at us all the time for this.
Yep.
And it's because the way you've got this worded. Okay. It's all rise. The command is all rise.
I like that.
All right. You guys use the command all rise. Fix your wording.
Yeah, because stop fight doesn't necessarily mean it's over.
Well, yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean it's over.
Gotcha. And
you guys are always honest about, hey, stay down till we tell you up. Well, your rules say that if you say stop fight, we're getting up. So don't, you clean up your rules. All right?
That's a very good point.
The order you guys use is actually all rise. Okay? Actually, that might be an IMCF thing. But regardless, you guys should use it too, yeah. Grounded fighters are not allowed to physically...
No. We just read that one. Yeah, a grounded fighter must maintain a comfortable seated or lying position until the end of the round. A comfortable position is a signal that the fighter is not injured. Okay.
I'm fine with it, being on the ground, being able to reposition yourself, because a lot of times you want to tuck your knees in the fetal position so that you don't get your knees broken or something falls on you. That's perfectly allowable. Now, the problem is some fighters will use this as a gray area to move into a better place for somebody to push somebody over them. All right, so I've seen that before.
Grounded competitors are not allowed to change their position in the list unless there's a threat to their safety.
The next, okay, cool. The next cleans that up.
That's also not enforced either, because I've seen plenty of guys go from on the knees to sitting to lounging, depending on what's going on.
But as long as it doesn't improve their position for that, I don't have a problem with it.
Fair.
Equipment and weapon approval. Competitors are not allowed to use any part of the equipment or any weapon that has not been allowed by the aesthetics committee. Substance use. This is not allowed for competitive influence of alcohol or any psychoactive substances. Yeah. That means you, and you, and you, and you.
Who?
You pothead smoking jackasses.
Who's smoking pot before?
That's what we're talking about.
Don't let me find out.
Let
me find out.
It's you. I know it's you.
Don't let me find out y'all are smoking pot before a fight. Guys.
So.
Not the pot.
Offensive actions against others. An offensive action against marshals, corner support, spectators, or anyone else in corner should the current are prohibited. Not only prohibited, they should just straight up say that you banned if you do that shit. That's unsafe. You should just straight up be banned.
Which one?
6'5".
Yeah.
Nah,
I see somebody hit a marshal. I'm hitting them.
They're not going to leave the list vertically.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Event interference. Any actions made by the competitor support that may impede the course of the event are prohibited. Okay,
all right.
I get it, but I don't understand how you...
so if we start having streakers,
I guess.
Yo, if somebody
demonstration of poor sportsmanship, derogatory behaviors, obscene language, commentaries directed at the marshals, opponents, or spectators.
I'm gonna say this right now: if somebody, if we have a Buhurt streaker at the World Championship, I'll buy you some food from the trucks.
None of you are pretty enough for that.
No, I don't mean actual streakers, but
keep your pants on.
Running through the list during the 150 before it starts with no shirt on. Woo, y'all.
Keep your pants on.
Buy that guy a beer. Buy that guy some brisket.
Your ass is looking raggedy. Keep your pants on.
That's how you know you finally made it, when you start getting streakers at games.
So, for demonstration of poor sportsmanship, derogatory behavior, obscene language, and commentaries directed to marshals, opponents, or spectators. Now, I, for one, am opposed to this rule.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Because I talk so much shit in the list, I break this rule every single round.
I know exactly what clip we're going to use for that one, too. In Omaha, when a dude's hitting you, you're like, hey, stop that. That's annoying. You can hear him say it clearly. You're like, Jesus, Charlie.
It was ineffective and irritating.
That's fun, T. That's funny.
So, yeah, I mean, shit talking's all in good fun.
Yeah, it also keeps you breathing.
Exactly.
Prohibited strike zone.
Okay.
You want me to take this
Let's get down to business.
To defeat the fun.
Exactly. Okay, so 7-1, back in front of the neck. Can't strike them. I'm on board with that. No neck strikes. I get you.
Yeah, that's how people get.
Base of the skull is considered a prohibited strike zone, specifically defined as the bottom third of the back of the helmet. Bro, absolutely not. This is stupid, because you don't define it as the bottom third of the back of the helmet. You define it as one hand above and below the rim of the helmet. That's how your refs interpret that fool. So you're telling me this far, all right, I can't hit. That's the whole helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, look at my hand. Like that's it.
Yeah.
It's the whole ass back of my head.
Yeah.
It's technically considered an illegal strike zone. All right. That's dumb. Because almost every single strike is now illegal to the helmet.
One of the first...
Unless the person's looking at you. But you don't swing at somebody if they're looking at you.
Yeah, true.
Right? And my back plate is perfectly safe to be hit.
One of the first things I heard Jay Brooks say is he was like showing us where the he's like, oh, you can hit here. This is a really good one, the lung shot. This is a really good one, base of the skull. But it was for IMCF, so it was fine. I was like, oh man, base of the skull sounds hardcore.
But you have that's one of the most armored portions on my body. Like, I don't, I'm sorry. That is, 2-7 is a dumb rule.
Yeah, that one's a little bit.
Don't strike the neck.
Yeah.
Got it. Clear cut, fine. But when you start talking about I can't strike armored sections of my opponent because the refs don't like it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Dude, look, y'all refs need to actually get somebody that help write these rules that actually fights. It is a current and high level fighter.
Yeah, very true.
Current, recently retired, preferably recently retired. Doesn't have fight. They don't have a dog in the hunt. But they are a top level competitor to help write these things, because and this is not just a BI thing. Okay?
Yeah, very true.
But that is not like, come on, you need help.
Yeah.
Back of the knee, perfectly fine. No pressure placed on the back of the knee. So I no pressure is to be placed on the back of the knee is kind of a.
That's a wild one too, because a lot of your
wild.
throws,
like it's pretty safe to apply pressure to the back of the knee for the most instances. And a lot of your throws end up making contact with the back of the knee. We just don't call it. Your Sotos do. A lot of your trips end up contacting the back of the knee. If I go for a single leg, sometimes it'll slide down the knee. My opponent's not in any danger. Right. So like I don't like the way that's worded.
Yeah, it's seems a little bit, I guess, I don't want to say lazy, just like a bad translation again.
It's not bad translation. I just don't think it's worded correctly because it's written by people who, again, don't really fight.
Yeah.
All right. Because if you understand how throws are done, then you understand that's not enforceable. Right. That's not enforceable. That's why I mean why you need somebody that actually is a high level competitor to help write these things. Right. A fighter advocate, if you will. Okay. Back of the knee. Strikes to the back of the knee are prohibited. No pressures to be placed. We just talked about that one. Crotch and groin. Got it. I'm with you.
Yeah.
No nut shots.
No nut shots. There. Yeah, we're swinging metal weapons. No need for it.
A note on that. If you guys are watching, Diamond Cup. Go get
Diamond Cup. Yeah.
Nothing else.
Good.
No other cups the cups are not created equal. Diamond Cup and get their whole suspension system. Either the jock strap or the shorts.
Exactly.
Get it. It
very good.
Then you don't have to worry about any of this shit. Your nuts are the second best armored portion of your body at that point.
Yeah, right? Behind the helmet.
Behind the helmet. All right. Feet and ankles. Strikes to the feet and ankles are prohibited. However, striking the foot is not considered a prohibited strike if the competitor raises their foot while the strike is already occurring. I like the addendum.
Very well written.
I like the addendum. That's well worded, well written. You can't strike the feet. Now, that means if I pull a BJ and I start trying to block with my foot gets hit, then you know what?
It's over.
That's on BJ.
Exactly.
All right. Unprotected body parts. Any part of the body that has lost its protection is considered prohibited strike zone. I don't like this rule.
But I thought they said earlier that losing armor parts will get you set anyways.
They're trying to say if somebody's lost armor, it's now my responsibility as a fighter to see that, recognize the armor's gone, and then not hit them.
Yeah. While you're fighting.
If somebody's pauldron drops off underneath their tabard, I can't see that. Then I strike their armor and their arm's broke. I'm now red carded.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nah, dude. That's a bad rule. That's a bad rule. All right. Management of fights. Fight categories are maintained under Buhurt regulations, penalties imposed the situation and the list of fighters, and the martials and actions. Sure. Cool. Whatever that means. And that's the change law. All right. So that's all we got for the melees. That's your melee rules and kind of just our interpretation of them. We're right. Whether or not the refs agree with us could mean the refs are wrong.
True.
Now,
I said what I said.
I am a rules as written.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yeah.
We interpret the rules as they're written. I don't care what the intent of the rule is. I care what the actual words on the rule say. Okay? That's the only way I can play the sport, is to have something that's consistently enforced and well written. If you write a rule and it's well written and interpreted consistently, I'm right there with you, baby.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. Okay. But if you do not interpret it consistently, or it's not well written, I have a hard time playing. Okay. The onus should not be on me as a fighter to figure out what the ref's interpretation of the rules should be. We should be doing it as written and only as written, not as interpreted.
Also, with BI being like an international committee or body or whatever, they can like look and see how many red cards or cards have been handed out, or
not near enough,
or they can see how many times these rules have been broken or lapsed or whatever, and they can actually see which ones are useful and which ones aren't. But it seems like they don't have the resources or don't do that.
So we lose part of the problem is the way our rules are constructed, and the folks who admittedly volunteer their time to help administer the
Yeah,
sport.
like shout out to
I'm
them.
not. I don't want to. I know I've been throwing y'all under the bus, and I'm going to continue to throw you on the bus.
Yeah.
All right.
But like
a lot of it is in good fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I admire anyone who steps up to the position because it's not me. I ain't doing it.
Exactly.
All right. I'm a loudmouth on the internet. That's all I am.
Yeah.
All right. Both of us are just fighters. We don't hold any positions in any organization.
Yeah, you're not gonna ever see me in one either.
We just loudmouths on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I barely.
So I can run my mouth as much as I want. I'm pretty good at doing that.
One of the best, I'd say.
Exactly.
Definitely in the GOAT conversation.
But the problem with having folks that don't fight at a high level, and I'm sorry if that offends you, all right, but most of the folks that are doing this do not compete at a high level.
Very true.
All right. For the simple fact that if you're competing at a high level, that takes a lot of time, and that means you probably don't have time to run an organization, as is evident by DeAndre.
Yeah.
Right. He competes at a very high level. He's on one of the best. He's on Dominus. He's on Warlords. Like he's on two of the best teams in the
and
world.
He's in China right now,
and he's on his way back from China, where he just got shanked in the eye or the face because of his wolf rib. Cyrus has been stabbed.
The Wolfiest Ribbington fights again.
Also, while we're talking about this, wolf ribs should be outlawed because they're not safe. Almost every single facial injury in the sport comes from a wolf rib. And one day, when somebody actually loses an eye and you get your asses sued, you will outlaw them. But until then, you're going to keep allowing them. They are dangerous, especially if they follow the BI eye bar rules. Now they have graciously allowed us a second eye bar.
Oh, thank heaven.
Okay, but dude, don't limit my safety.
Yeah,
because you don't like
insane.
the way it looks.
That's insane.
That's stupid. That is the dumbest rule y'all have. I know it wasn't in this. We got another one. We'll go over armor rules and stuff. This is just specifically over the melee rules. And don't worry, we'll roast you when we get there too. All right. So that is basically like you got to write better rules.
Yeah.
Right.
It has to be
clear,
almost
concise,
unmistakable,
consistent, something that's easily enforceable and does not allow for ref interpretation.
And here's the thing too,
because our refs are volunteers, and not all of them are educated at the same level.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Very true.
Okay, it's just that simple. And if you want, and as a fighter, I value consistency more than anything else. If I cannot like the rule and follow it as long as it's consistent. Right? I don't like the back of the head rule, so I'm just not going to strike the back of the head.
Also, you can add addendums. Like you can be like, if you have a rule and you're like, maybe people won't understand that, you can say, hey, this rule is designed for this. Should this come up, this is how it should be.
They should just word the rule better.
True. Very true.
Right?
Very true.
So, and I will give you guys this. A lot of stuff that the BI does, especially with weapons and armor, the way you guys roll out changes is really well done.
Very well done.
Okay? Right. But again, I think the best thing that any league can do is have someone who is a recently retired fighter on as a fighter advocate. Now, the FIA, which is the Federation International Automobile Association.
Okay.
All right, they're the guys that run a lot of the racing stuff in Europe. They have a racers or a driver's advocate. This is one of their positions. I don't think that's what they actually call it, but it's a retired top tier driver who's there to make sure that the rules that they pass work for drivers.
Okay.
Right?
Fair.
This is something that's already being done. And I think our leagues, BI, IMCF, hell, AMA, rest of them, should have someone in this position. Right? And it would prevent a lot of rules that are kind of like, why do those exist? Like, I think IMCF recently adopted a rule that you can't strike in the armpits anymore.
Oh, geez.
I know AMA has this rule.
Man.
It's dumb. It is a dumb rule.
Yeah. Yeah, because like, what?
Yeah, it's a dumb rule.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, IMCF, we coming for you because you got some dumbass rules.
Oh,
too.
yeah, you're getting it too.
You're getting roasted too. So, but yeah, so and it's rules like that are stupid, that are not really enforceable. That just shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And if you have a fighter that has experience, they're more likely to tell you, hey, that rule's dumb.
Exactly.
I get what you're trying to do, but that's not the way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not the way to do it. Let's maybe write it this way. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So on that note, I think that's all we got today.
I think that's all we got today.
Yeah. So this was brought to you by an angry internet post.
It was also brought to you by Artisan Dice.
Artisan Dice. Who we just dropped. You want to back it up so we can focus, man? There you go. Yeah. So let me get it on the sets. We get that.
Yeah,
All right, so here you go.
Get
Boom.
some of them in there.
Get that light on there. You see that? That right there is the Curiosity Rover, because these dice are made from Martian dust. So this comes from a Martian meteorite, and they are.
What?
Yeah.
How do you get that? How?
You got to know somebody.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
And it comes with a certificate of authenticity. Oh, actually, you gotta do that. With the light.
Right there, you guys can see right there.
Yeah. So yeah, it is real authentic Mars
If
dust.
you guys can see that, we'll post a picture that's better than what I can get here. And these you can see the dust suspended in the dice.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
they're inlaid with copper in a maple box lined with cork. Why cork? Cork because cork is used on pretty much everything going to space. It turns out it's a
'cause it's
really
so
good.
light?
It's a really good insulator. It's lightweight, and that they use it to keep the fuel tanks cold instead of turning into gas.
That's really
so without
cool.
cork, we wouldn't be going to space.
That's wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Also, don't forget to check us out at merch.buhurtislove. Check out our new shirts there, and there. And don't forget about the FAC shirt right here. On that
That's
note,
crazy.
we'll see you next time on Buhurt is Love.
Peace, 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 peace.